This is Co-op HD1 HD3 Hornsby, radio for people, not for profit. Welcome to Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show. Each week, we explore how your library is more than books. The library is knowledge, technology, and inspiration for our community. Hey, 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 Co-op listeners. I'm Kanya Lyons, and
I'm Mike Wheat. And today, our guest is going to be Emma DeBoer, the Youth Services Librarian housed at the Housen branch. We'll talk about Emma's background, how she came to Austin, what it's like to work with kids, and her success connecting people with APL's Instagram.
But first, we have Mark Rayshap of Another Bottle Down, a very popular co-op program, and he's here to tell us a little bit about co-op's membership drive.
Thank you, Kanya. It's such an honor to be here. I love the library. It's such a powerful community resource. It's a community resource that we have to really support, as is co-op radio. So this is our membership drive, and we would love to hear from you. 512-472-5667. It's very easy. We've got phone answerers waiting for your phone call. 512-472-5667. We've got a goal of two new donors, and $100. So let's help the library make that and support Co-op Radio. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we'll hear more from Mark in just a little bit. But first, we're going to talk to Emma DeBoer. Welcome.
Hi.
Am I saying your last name right?
Yeah, you are. Emma DeBoer.
Awesome. Well, welcome. So tell us a little bit about who you are. Like, where are you from?
I'm originally from Vancouver, Canada. I was born there, and then we did a little bit of hopping before I got to Texas. We went to Singapore. My sister was born, and then we went to Illinois, Tennessee, and then we settled in Dallas, Texas before I came here.
What moved you around all the places?
My dad works in paging, and I don't know, I guess that made us move around a lot.
Nice.
like pagers?
Yeah, like pagers. He still works, he designs pagers.
Who's using those?
Silly.
The library still uses them, actually.
Hospitals. He has a big market for in South Korea.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, being a military kid, I'm used to meeting people who moved all over those places from the military, so that's weird to...
Yeah. We're civilians.
Civilians, sorry.
So did you read a lot of books with all that moving around as a kid?
Yeah, lots of books always. My mom's a preschool teacher, so we grew straight from the get-go. Always had lots of books.
So what inspired you to want to become a librarian?
So after I got to college for my first year, I came home. It was 2009, and I couldn't find a job, for a summer job. And my mom was like, "You cannot sit here. You can't do this. You need to be out of the house." And so I was like, "Oh, I'll volunteer at the library." I always liked the library growing up, and I was like, "Man, this is awesome. If I could do this and get paid to do this, this would be really good." So I decided to finish out my history degree, and then went to grad school for library science. That was it.
So you decided after you'd already been working at a library that you would go forward?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I was volunteering, and then
I
was like, this is great. Why wouldn't I want to do this all the time?
Absolutely.
We have a lot of awesome volunteers at the library, and many of them do end up coming to work for us later. That's a neat.
Well, I was one of those too, actually. I volunteered with APL before I got hired as well. So
what was that magical date you became full-time?
February 10th maybe, somewhere right around Valentine's Day.
Aww. True love.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Speaking of true love, I hear that you have some really interesting literary-inspired tattoos.
Yes. So I have a large peacock on my back, and it is a tribute to Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. The tattoo itself is from a specific cover from the 1894 version. So it's not the traditional peacock one that you see where all the feathers go up. They're on bags everywhere now, but how the tail feathers come down. So I like it.
And you have another one as well, is that right or no?
I have another tattoo, but it's not literary. It's just a maple leaf on my
just
foot.
A maple
I
leaf.
know.
Is that a Canadian thing?
It is, yeah.
I love it.
Are you born with that when you're born in Canada?
Yeah, that's exactly.
It's the Canadian birthmark. It's already red.
So there's a hashtag for the librarians with tattoos, literary tattoos going on right now, isn't there?
Yeah, so we've been doing a series on Instagram for all of our staff members that have literary tattoos, and it's hashtag BookTatsATX.
Awesome.
And then also there's a bunch of just literary tattoo hashtags you can also check out as well.
So if you're just joining us, this is Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show on Co-op 91.7 FM and streaming at koop.org. And show details are at library.austintexas.gov/volumes.
That's right. And we're talking with Emma DeBoer, who is a youth services librarian at the Housing Branch. We just got talking about some tattoos. Mm-hmm. So, what's coming up with you at the Housing Branch?
Well, story time starts next week, or not next week, the week after, which is super exciting. So we're gearing up for that. I got a bunch of music and movement and a regular all ages story time and books and babies for the little itty bitty ones.
Oh, and that's all at the Housing Branch?
All at Housing Branch.
Cool. Well, we're just about out of time in this segment, but when we come back, I would like to ask you a little bit more about the music and movement programs. We're going to continue our discussion in just a little bit, but first, we're going to hear about some of the events that are taking place at libraries across town.
My name is Blair Parsons, and I'm a reference librarian at the Falk Central Library. Each week, I highlight a few programs for adults that are happening around the Austin Public Library. Our full list of programs may be found on the library's events calendar. Tonight, August 30th, the Terrazas Branch Library hosts Oral Literature, a monthly opportunity to hear local writers read their work. Oral Literature is at the Terrazas Branch Library the last Wednesday of each month. The next meeting is tonight, August 30th at 7 o'clock. Saturday, September 2nd, the Carver Branch Library hosts Library Live, the Austin Public Library's live music series. In partnership with VSA Texas, the state organization on arts and disability, this concert will feature local musicians with disabilities, including Heller Wade Experience, James Sandlin, and Nicole and Eric's Guide to a Meaningful Life. Library Live is Saturday afternoon, September 2nd at 2 o'clock at the Carver Branch Library.
Hey there, Austin. Teen Program Specialist Michael Harley from the downtown Falk Central Library here. I was definitely a Lego maniac as a kid. I still am now. Count me as one of the crowd that's super stoked for the Lego Ninjago movie. I love being able to snap up a set of bricks every now and then, but as a kid, and even as a teen, I always dreamed what it would be like to have an unlimited supply of Lego bricks at my disposal. The Austin Public Library has Lego lovers covered with buckets full of colorful bricks to build with at Lego Lab, where everything is awesome, as they say in Bricksburg. Kids and teens can build whatever they dream up. Lego Lab is snapping together at the Cepeda branch on Thursday, August 31st at 4 p.m. More details for these and additional programs can be found at library.austintexas.gov/events.
This is Ann Minner, Managing Librarian at the Old Quarry Branch. I get to highlight some information for families this week. School has started, so I expect it to feel like fall outside. I want sweaters and jeans to go along with some new boots. I'd like to wear a cute jacket and a scarf. But Texas has other plans. It is still hot out there and most likely will be all through September. Austin Public Library has a plan to beat that heat. This fall, we're showing our favorite movies. Some are classics, some are brand new. All of them are full of family fun, and all of them take place in the air conditioning. Our September movies are Smurfs Lost Village at Windsor Park at 2 p.m. Saturday, September 2nd, Beauty and the Beast, the 2017 version, at Twin Oaks at 6 p.m. Tuesday, September 12th, E.T. at the Old Quarry Branch at 3:30 p.m. Friday, September 15th, and later in October, we will be showing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Ghostbusters Answer the Call, and even Captain Underpants. Details about movie locations and times are at library.austintexas.gov/event-tags/movies.
Oh man, listening to Ann Minner makes me wish I was 5 years old and I could attend her story time. We are back with Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show. And in just a minute, we're going to get back to our conversation with Emma DeBoer, who is a youth services librarian here for the Austin Public Library. But right now, we actually have Mark Rayshap from the popular show Another Bottle Down, where they talk about all kinds of amazing wine. And he's here to tell us about Co-op's membership drive.
Right, it's fall membership drive. We would love to hear from you. 512-472-5667 or online at koop.org. Co-op is such a great resource to the community, and this show is relatively new in the new schedule, and I was so happy to see that Co-op is supporting this amazing resource that we have in the library, the new library library is coming online. I heard about it last week. There's going to be an area to enjoy some wine as well. So that's an amazing thing that we have going on. And we need to be proud of our Austin institutions. And I think Co-op is really one of those Austin institutions. So if you're listening and you like our music, you like all of these amazing news and public affairs shows, please give us a call, 512-472-5667. Thank you so much for calling and all of your support.
Support comes from Terra Nera, a traditional Chinese medicine practice in central Austin, offering acupuncture, personalized herbal formulations, Asian bodywork massage, cupping therapy, and nutritional support. Owner Hannah Rudolph believes every human being deserves to live a happy, pain-free life and is committed to helping her patients achieve a goal of holistic wellness. More information available at terraneraAcupuncture.com or by calling 512-593-1256.
You're listening to Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show on Co-op 91.7 FM and KOOP.org. Radio for people, not for profit.
Is your nonprofit a Co-op Community Council community organization member? Membership comes with no obligations and many benefits, including co-op membership and voting rights, public service announcements, and being able to have your events posted on the Community Council events calendar. Contact Community Council at KOP.org for more information.
All right, and once again, you are listening to Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show on Co-op Radio, and we are talking with Emma DeBoer, the Youth Services Librarian at the Housen Branch. Just before we went to those breaks, we were going to ask you something I think Kanya had.
Yeah, so you were telling us about all the programs that you do for the kids at the Housen Branch, and a little birdie who happens to work in my area now named Patty Cook told me that Music and Movement, the program that you actually started, has now become extremely popular and has all spin-offs all over the library system.
Yeah, it's a really fun program. So what happened was I used to do a preschool and toddler time at Housen Branch, and then no one came to my preschool time anymore, and it got really sad. And so instead of having a program where no one came, I was like, well, let's try and do something different. So I thought, let's do Music and Movement. I'd seen a bunch of people blog about it in the library world, and it's like you basically have a toddler dance party once a week. Like, it doesn't get any better than that.
I want to come.
Yeah, you should. It's lots of fun. So yeah, I started that, and it became super successful, and a bunch of other people do it as well. So you can go to...
Who'd have thought kids want to dance?
In the library?
It is loud.
They dance about their favorite books.
It's extra fun at that point, though. Yeah. You're doing a bunch of things you don't feel like you should be doing at a place you shouldn't be doing it.
So on top of all the amazing youth programming and cool stuff that you do at the Housen Branch, you're also an online personality. You have, is it 6,400 followers on the library's Instagram account?
Yeah, I think about that now, which is kind of crazy to think, actually, because when we first started, it grew so slowly. But yeah, it's a lot of fun managing the Instagram account. I think pictures are a really great way to showcase how awesome Austin Public Library is. It makes us a lot more accessible than maybe other avenues, because I think you think libraries, you think big institutions shushing from a long time ago, and that's just not what Austin Public Library is at all. And I think Instagram's a really
the same old shh.
No. So I think the Instagram's just a great way to showcase how many cool, awesome, and innovative things we're doing today. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's
definitely more engaging when you look at a photo. You're selling this lifestyle along with it. I mean, we can send all the many words in front of people as we want, and they're like, of course you feel that way. That's your place. But if we can show our community is actually enjoying the things we're putting forth for them. And
yeah, it makes a huge difference. And I think part of the reason why I've been so successful doing Instagram is that we've, I have a team of us who do it. So I'm not the only one posting to it. We have about 9 or 10 people who all post at least once a week. So you really get to see all the really cool different things. You can see when I first started posting to Instagram, it was a lot of just Housen and a lot of just kids stuff, because that's what I do. But now that we have other people at other branches and locations posting, you get to see all the things across the system that we do.
Yeah, you guys are managing it really well.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think at first we thought, this will be a way to connect with the kids. But now it's everybody's on Instagram, and it's really fun. The Bookface Friday have been some of my favorite posts. That's a hashtag, right? Bookface Friday. And you do every Friday, you post a...
So how Book Face Friday works is that you'll take a book with a face on it or an arm or a leg or a body part, and you'll try and match it up with a real life human. So and some of them are really, really good, and it's like eerily creepy when you see it. Others are like, okay, but we've definitely grown in our Book Face Fridays. One of the really nice things about Instagram was that coming into Instagram, the like library community on Instagram is really supportive and had a lot of really cool things going on. So if you go like search hashtag Book Face Friday, you can see all of the different like other libraries who are doing it as well. And you can see like some people have like Inception Book Face Fridays where it's like there's 3 or 4 people doing it all in like one book, or there's multiple books. It's kind of cool.
I remember you pairing me up to hold hands with one of our other male librarians.
Yes,
for one.
I did. That was posted. You can.
I got a lot of likes.
It did.
Yeah, there have been some really fun ones. That's been so fun. So we're getting close to the end of this segment. So we just want to remind people, this is Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show. And now we're going to have Mark Rayshap talk a little bit more about Co-op's membership drive.
Right. We need to hear from you, folks. The phone lines are open, and show us your appreciation for the public library and for Co-op. And we really put so much time into this, and we're all volunteer run, and we try and bring you amazing news and public affairs. And I'm really enjoying this conversation. I mean, movement and the library and all the innovative things that are going on. Really, really happy. So please give us a call, 512-472-5667. Phone lines are open. It's super easy. Our phone answers would love to hear from you. 512-472-5667.
You can even dance while you're doing it.
So I was just mentioning that the information about the library is available at library.austintexas.gov, and this show is on 91.7 FM, but it's also streaming at coop.org. And I wanted to ask you, Emma, before we run out of time, can you tell me a little bit about what's your favorite book?
So my favorite book is Pride and Prejudice, which is what the tattoo on my back for. But I read that when I was in the 6th grade for the first
that's
time.
Convenient.
Yeah. But then my favorite picture book is The Paper Bag Princess, which is an amazing story about a little girl, or a princess named Elizabeth, who the dragon comes and burns burns her castle and carries off the prince, and she has to go save him. But all that's left is a paper bag, so she goes off because when you burn the thing down, paper apparently survives.
I was like, how did the paper bag stay put?
but that's how that story works.
It's waxed.
And so she goes and saves the prince, and it's awesome. So that's one of my favorite picture books. And my favorite middle grade novel right now currently is called Me and Marvin Gardens. It came out recently by A.S. King. And it's about a little boy who is coming from the suburbs, or the suburbs are coming to him. He lived out in the country, and he's having a really hard time dealing with the fact that his creek is leaving, and there's more kids coming to his school, and he finds this crazy animal in the back by his creek that can eat trash and becomes this savior of of the environment. And he finds this whole family of creatures. So it's kind of realistic, kind of magical realism.
Wishful.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Wishful thinking.
If we could just find that creature, darn it.
Yeah. So that's my current favorite books.
That's great. Yeah, as a youth librarian, it's pretty fun. You get to go into all those books and not feel weird about reading them at an adult age.
Yeah, not at all. You just gotta embrace it.
Yeah. I've got to know these things.
I don't really remember the last time I read an adult book. I usually almost only read YA and kids stuff. It's lots of fun.
Yeah.
Everyone should embrace it. Read YA, read middle grade.
A little more escapism probably in the youth ones.
It's not quite as dark. I mean, some of the YA can get dark, but it's
It surprises me sometimes the content of the youth, especially how many of the young teen books were apocalypse driven in the last few years.
Yeah. It's kind of gotten a little bit away from that, but there's always kind of, I think, phases. You had Harry Potter, which was huge, and then now you had all of these wizards books coming up, and then you had Twilight, and then it all was vampires. Then you had Divergent, and then
I was going to ask, was it Divergent that caused that trend, or was it the...
Or Hunger Games.
Hunger Games,
Hunger
yeah.
Games, probably. I just happened to read Divergent first, so I
But it is
of
neat
that.
to see those trends, and I had
Yeah.
never realized until I worked within the library that, you can see that happening.
And then you had like The Fault in Our Stars was really big. So then you had a lot of like realistic fiction. come out again. Tearjerkers, yes. Oh my goodness. That's definitely big right now.
I have a 13-year-old, and so that's all she's into is
The drama.
stuff like that. Yeah. So where's your favorite place to read?
I always have liked reading outside. So when I was in college, I always like read like on the Six Pack or something. And I'd love to go to Zilker and read outside. Now I just like to mostly read on my balcony, which is lots of fun.
Nice. So you're a fresh air reader.
Yeah.
You'll have to check out the reading porch at the new Central
I'm
Library.
super pumped for that. I cannot wait.
Which side of Austin does your patio reside?
It's South Austin.
Oh, nice.
So
Good.
yeah.
I was always a South Austin guy until about 6 years ago. I moved the first time north of the river, and it's nice. It's definitely a different, environment. But,
It is. I moved South Austin 3 years ago, something like that. And I was North Austin before that. So.
I'm still trying to convince myself.
So do you have like a revolving set of books and DVDs and items from the library at your house?
Yeah, all the time. Well, so we can check out 50 books on your personal
Just
card.
50?
Just
Which is
50.
insane.
And I probably have like 20-ish or more. And then I also have books checked on my professional cards, like all my story time books. So like total, I think I probably have over 100 books checked out right now.
So what all do you do when you do story time? Like y'all do finger plays, singing, like what?
Like a typical story time is like, hey, welcome to story time. I'm Miss Emma. And then we sing a couple hello songs and we read a book. And then we'll talk about our letter of the day because I always have a theme. So it'll be like, we're talking about dinosaurs today. Who has the first, whose name starts with the letter D? And then we'll stand up and we always zoom and go to the moon because I'd have like toddler riots if I didn't do that. And then we'll read another book and we'll do another finger play and maybe another like big movement activity. And then maybe sometimes once in a blue moon, I get to read 3 books, but that's very rarely. And then we sing our goodbye song. Oh, and I have a little puppet. His name is Lou and he lives in a box. And so you say, knock, knock, knock. Here comes Lou. He's a little line that says, moo. And then the kids crack up. They're like, that's not what lions say.
Totally blow their
and
minds.
And then you do it again. So you do it and then you let what do you think Lou's going to say this time? Who can roar really loud so that Lou knows what to do? We have to teach him how to be a lion.
That's fun.
It's really fun.
So I'm reading this book right now, actually from Hoopla, which is the virtual library service, and it's about like how we learn. And so I never understood why people did finger plays or like things like that. But I was just reading in this book last night that apparently like physical activity while learning will increase your ability to remember the information by a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of why like the fidget spinners came out, right? Is that if you have something tactile and like a lot of times, like if you're doing something, at least for me, like when I'm writing notes, like because I'm doing something with my hands, like that's more like it helps me remember things more. And so that's why. And also, we also do finger plays because it works on like fine motor skills. So trying to get them to be able to use those muscles in their hands.
Yeah, we've discovered in the last 10 years at least that doodling during meetings helps you keep. I guess it's the same thing.
I
I'm a
couldn't have gotten
doodler.
through
I am a
college without
doodler.
doodling.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I doodle through every meeting, which is
Absolutely.
maybe on something to admit.
No
on
offense
radio.
to everybody that's in my
Sorry,
meetings.
guys. My bad.
I just like to draw while you talk. That's all.
So what's your favorite thing about being a librarian?
That's a really good question. I think part of it is like getting to feel like I'm making a huge difference in these kids' lives. Like some kids come into the library and they'll be like, Miss Emma, I don't like to read, or like and I'm like, no, you just haven't found the right book yet. And when you find the kid and you put the right book in the right kid's hand, it's magical. And like you've changed their life. They're going to be lifelong readers and they're going to be lifelong learners. And that's just a really amazing feeling.
It's the best.
Aw, thank you so much. I think that we're just about out of time for this this conversation, but there's details about all the things we're talking about at library.austintexas.gov/volumes. And we still have Mark Rayshap here, who does another bottle down. He's going to talk about our membership.
This discussion is making me smile so big to hear these stories and to hear about doodling, that it's okay to doodle. And
It really is.
And such a great show. This is it's our membership drive. We would love to hear from you. If Co-op makes you smile, and all of the stories that you hear on Co-op, all of the wonderful news and public affairs programming, well, we have to meet our goal of $100,000 this membership membership drive in order to continue to bring those amazing stories and to continue to do all of the wonderful things that we do. And so I love the library. I take out books from the library. I support the library. I go to the library. If you listen to Co-op, now you don't have to be on the south side of Austin. You don't have to be on the north side of Austin. You can be anywhere in Austin or online. You can be anywhere in the world because we stream online. We have Radio Free America, a lot of shows podcast. So we can have amazing programming coming to you, but we need to hear from you. So pick up that phone, 512-472-5667. 512-472-KOOP, or online. We've got a mobile-friendly version, so you can donate online. It'll take, just a couple minutes at coop.org. And so, guys, thank you for having me on this program. It's an honor to meet you all.
Thank you very much.
Keep up the great work, and you all keep up the great work and continue to listen and support Co-op.
Thanks for your support.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
So, I guess we have a little bit more time. So
you were talking about kids. You see them getting inspired, whatever. Do you think you see any budding librarians in your groups now that are returns? And
I think so. I have one little girl who comes into the library all the time, and she says that she'll go home, like her grandma will say that she goes home and like plays Miss Emma and will like set out all of her like stuffed animals and like reads to them.
Does she put in a nose ring?
Maybe. You should.
Get that girl a nose ring.
she tattooed "Are you my mother?"
You're not an Austin librarian unless you got a nose ring and a tattoo.
I really want pink hair. We had a bunch of like youth librarians with pink and blue hair, and I'm like, I should do that.
Just waiting for your turn.
Yeah.
You got any precocious kids that come and try and take over your job already?
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, they're like,
I love precocious kids.
They're so much fun. This is the same girl who she came in. It was pouring rain one day. The library was a mess. Like kids were going crazy, like climbing on shelves, and she came in after like kind of quieted down, and she's like, Miss Emma, the library is a mess. I was like, you're right, it is a mess. And she was like, I will help you put it back together. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So she handed me each book and was like, Miss Emma, where does this go? Like, how do we put the library back together? And it was so cute.
She's like, let me help you.
She was like, you need the help.
It's good when kids can recognize it,
Yeah.
Even the heroes sometimes need support.
It's true.
That's like, that calls back to it's not the same old shh
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
library. They're loud, raucous, fun programs. We like to get the kids running around.
It is.
Yeah.
It's crazy. In January, we had a big Harry Potter party at Housen. We had like 160 people show up, and it was loud and crazy, and everyone was so excited. We had we had like all the generations. We'd have like grandmas bringing their grandkids, but we also had like 20 somethings with their like actual babies. They had like dressed up as like baby Harry Potter, and it was adorable.
Yeah,
It was just like so cool to see how like reading has made everyone brings everyone together.
Yeah, and you guys got this awesome opportunity to offer these kids, creativity and teach them how creativity and ingenuity go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are getting out of their shell, trying to do things they probably wouldn't do at home with their parents, and the parents maybe thought it would be too much playing and not enough studying, so now they get to see it all goes hand in hand.
Yeah, I do a Minecraft club once a month at Housen, and we have like a core group of guys that are little like boys, I guess, that come every month, and their moms are always like, "This is so awesome," because these are not the kids that these are my kids and the kid that makes friends super easily, maybe, but that these are their people, and they're able to find their people at the library, and then you providing this service is, it helps them because they're not the people who are going to. They don't have like on those sports teams or have those ready-made friends, but
Right.
we get to do that for them at the library.
And we really try to touch on all niches of creativity, not just, book-oriented or anything. I mean, there's computer gaming, there's computer designing, as well as there's crafting and movies, exercise, whatever you're into.
Yeah, sometimes there's even live music at some of the libraries.
Oh yeah, we have our all youth librarian band, Echo and the Bats.
They were on last week.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
man.
they did a
So
little
great.
ATXN came into the studio here, and they did like a little spot about it. It's actually up on the library's the APL Volumes Facebook group. So
That's awesome.
yeah, if people are interested, it's there. But I guess we actually have to say goodbye now.
Aww.
We'll have to have you back on another time. You've been such a great guest.
Yeah.
Thank you for having
And
me.
you're doing wonderful things.
Thank you.
And so this has been Emma DeBoer from the Howson branch. She's our guest today. And this is Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show. I'm Kanya. Thanks for listening.
And I'm Mike. Thanks for listening as well.
Thanks for listening to Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show. Special thanks to our producer, DJ Harris, and to the musicians who composed and performed our original theme song, Andrew Noble on violin, Kirk Duvall on guitar, and Mike Wheat on percussion. And thanks to you, our listeners. Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show, airs Wednesday afternoons at 2:30 on Co-op 91.7 FM and koop.org. If you catch us mid-show, full episodes and other details can be found at library.austintexas.gov/volumes.